Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly Ascension Angel Messages for March 10th through the 16th, 2025. So, as we begin, I'd like to first of all thank everyone who's always showing up for these weekly events and this particular series. And I'd also like to welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community, and you just happened upon us for the very first time. So welcome to you as well. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe, select the all notification bell, like, dislike, and of course, leave your comments. If during the course of this video you feel a call to have an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And for now, just be aware that my office hours have changed, and that for now they'll be on Saturdays, starting at about 2 o'clock. And there may be some availability during the week, possibly 5, but it just depends on what's when I tune in, if that's going to be a good day for both of us to do it. So also, if you'd like to get in, just like to support my channel, then you can go to my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom LLC. And both of these links you can find in the description area beneath this video. Also, if you haven't checked out the monthly angel reading, then that will be the first link that you will see. So please do visit that video so that you get the overall understanding for what might be going on energetically for the month. All right, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath. And just relax. And the angels just wish for you right now, as you take a deep breath and you allow yourself to relax, they just want you to focus on all the blessings in the world right now and in your life right now. And they don't want you to think about anything that you're worried about futuristically, or something that you're worried about that's in the past. They really just wish for you right now to be completely focused in life. And they kind of put it to me before the video. They kind of had me do this. It was like they phrased it as if, we're on live, so to speak, when you're on, you're watching TV and the presentation is live. And they were giving me sort of the sense that we're not always on live, like as if we were a program and we're filming in the moment, we're live. And I feel like what that meant is that because we're usually worried about something, and worry can't be something that can't be coming from a live reality. Worry is coming from past or future realities. And they're based on both the future. For instance, is based on something that happened in the past, if you're worried about it. And so you're not live. While you are alive, you're not always presenting yourself live, if that makes any sense. So let's just take a moment to present ourselves and to be present in live time, in real time, live, right now. And in this moment, there are only blessings. As if the understanding is that you can create whatever you desire. And you can express live your truth. You can connect to your soul, be present, be live with your soul and its desires and its inspiration, its love. And they wrote that live, being live, live with love, the love of your soul. When you're experiencing love in all the ways that one could describe it, peace, freedom, joy, being in your truth, being in your power, being authentic, being true to yourself, knowing what gives you pleasure and satisfaction, and knowing when you are full. And at the same time, also knowing that you are brimming over and flowing over and into. And they write the word synchronicities. And that then they wrote octave, as if to say that when you are full, there are octaves higher and lower of this fullness, this feeling of completion, so that it just can go to another octave higher. And you can find even more satisfaction and fullness and peace and freedom and love. And they're saying that you get there by releasing everything and, being live. So that presenting yourself live each time takes you to that higher octave of those very same qualities. When you are seeing limitations, when you're seeing bars or feeling as though you're in a cage and there are bars around you and those bars are restricting you, they are representing some form of oppression. That is an opportunity. Those bars help you to reflect within, meant to draw you back to the awareness that you're not live anymore. You're alive, but you're not live in your experience of reality. And they help you to find that deeper expression of love or freedom, whatever the goal is that the soul is trying to express. And the soul expresses itself by breaking tearing those barriers down. It almost feels like it's saying that it lives to break those barriers, to show the self just how unlimited it is each time when you find, and I don't know why they're writing the word respect within yourself. When you respect, it's not about respecting yourself, but it's about respecting the qualities, the true qualities that are the makeup of your divinity, your soul's divinity, that never has even embraced the idea of these limitations, that only occur for you when you are no longer on live. When you choose instead to present a recording of a narrative you've once lived, or a narrative that's not true to who you are, based on something you are trying to be, or would like to be, or would portray in the future. So I'll just really tell you the experience I had just before I started recording, and they brought this up, and Master Marilyn came through, and I just saw um, the five-pointed star so vividly. It was like it was just there in front of my inner vision, and something you couldn't ignore. And so I knew that this was sort of an activation of the higher heart. And what they wanted me to do, he wanted me to do, is just focus in that moment, just be live. And at first I just said focus. And then I was asked to, um, send love from my higher heart to all the people on our planet. And then I was asked to think about all the blessings. And this is when this understanding came up, that you can only do that if you're focused, if you're live. If you're sending this live from the now, the here and now, it's always live and it's always free of time, past, present, past, present, future. And that link, that linear link that seems to keep building upon, the story, the narratives that we have adopted. And more so, the ones that are not true to who we are, to who you are as a soul, and a soul divinely inspired and imbued with this holy light. So that was what they were getting. It's like, focus. I'm like, I'm focusing. I'm breathing. And it was like, you're not live. Okay. And so as I was doing that, then they wanted me to focus on gratitude and appreciation and seeing the world and everything in my life as being supportive of me, supportive of who I am and what my soul is here to learn and experience and express and do. And even the things that seemingly have been obstacles and challenges, you know, those um, prison bars, that in that moment of being live, choosing to tune in through that higher expression of love, that higher truth of self, and seeing everything as being supportive of what my soul needed in this lifetime, transformed those narratives into something of appreciation. In the monthly video, they talked about going through challenges that are gonna, and having the courage to go through them, because they're going to liberate you, they're gonna move you forward. And it's so difficult to face things that, because our ego tells us, that it's going to be this and this and that, and then you just try to avoid it, but you don't have the information to know if that's true or not, the facts. And so you have to trust your intuition that might be guiding you towards something that's uncomfortable, because what your intuition is trying to show you is that there has to be a marriage between facts or information supporting intuition, that intuition is guiding you towards information that will allow you to have the clarity and the ability to, you know, discern for yourself. So don't be afraid of the things that come up in this month. And they may feel like very familiar. But the difference is, despite that the narrative might be spinning from the you that was not truly focused, and then still needed to be confronted and dealt with in the light of truth, but the you who decides to show up live and faces and goes through that challenge and that process, you will be liberated by clarity, by truth. And they were talking about things like health and making sure that we're not avoiding getting the help that we need, whether it's health or finances, no matter what it is. Get the help that you need. Have that conversation in order to have truth revealed, to have facts, so that you know best with your intuition what's the right next step for you. And to put an end to being taking yourself offline and trying to go through life versus being online and completing these things and then reaping the rewards of them. Oh boy. I don't know if I can explain this because I know I'm throwing out a lot of things, but this thought came through my mind too before when I was in my kitchen. Thinking about life. What if life was like a game? And you have all these levels, you have all these challenges. And, would you want to give up when you gotten so far on a particular level and you're just getting ready to, graduate to the next level? But the challenges within the game really sometimes, like for instance, I've been working on trying to learn Spanish on Duolingo, and there are times like I'll start, you know, a part of the level or exercise or whatever they call it, and I'm a little tired, and then I'll see myself like I'm like, oh my God, I'm a little flighty. My brain, I'm not really with it, and I want to just quit because I don't want to mess up. Like I don't want to lose any points or anything like that. And then I feel myself going, no, you can't do that because unless feel like it's gonna be disastrous and I'm just not able to function. But it's that other thing, that one that sometimes when we just go, oh, I just want to get out of this. I don't want to be in this. Um, and when I stay and see that I may have moved to another level, it becomes worth it. And we have to learn to work through those hard times. Like I'm noticing this with my students, that like they always have to go to the bathroom. They always have to go to what is it? The bathroom. There's three things they do: bathroom. They want to go for water. They want to go to the nurse. Anything to get out of the room. At the moment when it's getting hard, and I was telling them I was having that experience one day teaching a lesson when I was trying to teach I may have mentioned this before, trying to teach my second graders and first graders how to read a score on their own. And we were doing it as a class. So I didn't play the music for them. And we went through the rhythm first because it's simple patterns. They just at this point had to just learn like, quarter note and paired eighth notes, and then pitches just so and me. But we had been practicing for a while, and I felt like it was time for them to try it this way. And as we were going through the lesson, and it was just like not clicking. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, what have I done? I should just give this up right now. And I was really about to just stop and just say, we'll pick this up another time. And I knew that I was thinking to myself, you're not going to want to do this another time. Because it just seems like either I didn't know what I was doing or it's just not possible. And I knew neither of those were true. However, right at the moment I was thinking that, a child had a breakthrough, and then the class had a breakthrough. Something just went clicked, and they were like, oh, and then they did it, and everybody was able to do it, especially a child who just walked into the classroom that day. So it was just like, wow, that taught me a huge lesson about not about facing challenges and not giving up just because we think we're not going to make it doesn't make it real. There's no fact, there's no truth in that. And you do have to trust your intuition. And I was, when I crafted that lesson. And I had to realize that I had to follow through because it's not about perfection, the flow of the lesson. It's also about the imperfections and the perfections, the challenges and the rewards that really make something successful. And we all know this, but it's when we face our challenges, truly face them, and we work through the weak moments, when we get weak in the knees. And it's okay to have that conversation with yourself and then just say, let's just keep going. If my intuition is really nudging me along, and that's a key point to consider. So I hope that helps a little bit with what they're throwing out. And I'm trying, very trying to translate what this new information, which is what it always feels like to me, like like something I've not thought about before, and so you get what I'm talking about. But don't give up, and that goes for you personally. As you don't give up personally, then you're also not giving up for on the ascension process, which is for the whole planet, collectively. So you working through these things is also you doing light work on behalf of humanity and the universe. We can do this. And when we go through this, we're going to feel like we've had a major breakthrough, and new on that, when we break through that, the changes will feel like a new level, like we're living at a higher octave live reality. And this is going to be extraordinary, as right now it seems like we're going down, um, back maybe 2, 3 octaves, wherein we we just can't give up. We're in the struggle that we were meant to be in order to bring, in order to bring about this evolution in our um, collective consciousness and all the things that that means for the golden future. All right, so I don't know if I just move that, but I guess I better leave it alone. All right, so let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with this month. Okay, so this is Lord Wywyvsil, and if I remember correctly, he's a universal angel, and he comes to us from another universe. But I felt like he was some kind of lord of karma. Let me just check. Doesn't come up in that often. But we'll have a little. Yes, he is a lord of karma. He's also an angel of birth. Okay, so he's 10th dimensional from another universe. He's recently arrived to our planet. Now, he has this sort of Egyptian something around his neck there. What is that? Yeah, it kind of almost looks like Isis or something, like the wings. And that's interesting. I'm just drawn to that. You see all of this beautiful energy that's swirling around him. So and it's talking about sending, the card message said sending healing energy right now. And that's kind of what I was doing before this started. Um, so it feels like that he's bringing back some, our awareness to our healing gifts, and he's writing angelic healing. So what he's asking us to do is to call upon the angels to activate our hands, and to activate, I'm doing it again, to activate our hands and to activate our healing abilities once again. And this, could be also symbolic in a way, and not in the sense of that there are many ways to heal, but and that's what I mean. You know, gosh, playing music is healing, painting is healing, and you just may not be aware that of the amplification of your light being, the expansion that has taken place. And some of you may really feel that, um, you feel energy moving, not only just around you, but you feel it moving through you. And if you have a sense of that energy is really powerfully moving through you, or like, gosh, just another example. I was standing in my classroom and the kids were singing harmony, chords I had given them, and their voice is so beautiful. And all of a sudden, I could just feel the energy underneath my feet, the soles of my feet, just vibrating. I felt like I was walking on this energetic floor, carpet. So you might be sensing energy being activated just by whatever you are suggesting, or giving people to do, or that whatever you're doing. Receive this as an acknowledgement of your healing abilities, number one. And when you sense energy moving through you, know that whatever you're focused upon, this has become an active healing event. So, again, I'll just give an example that I realize is coming to me now and they're clarifying things for me. Like, I now see the change in my students' voices and their music making as I'm now starting to feel these activations, whether it's my heart opens up, and that I need to be very intentional, very aware and intentional that we're creating some form of healing. And so if you're painting and you're feeling it, or you're writing and you're feeling something, if you're singing, you're feeling something, if you're talking to someone who is, um, you know, uh, experiencing just low moments and you feel your heart being activated, know that you are creating an energetic healing and shift. It's not up to you what that looks like, and but that you are being present, that you are live in the moment. And this is why this will happen when we show up live, not like, whatever those other options are, like, recorded, pre-recorded, blah 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 blah. But when you show up live, which means if you're pre-recorded, meaning if you're just like, so I'll give you some examples because this is, they're coming to me from my own life. And I've always said this to people: when I try to speak and I don't feel the connection, I don't feel the healing. And I'm talking to somebody, and then what is happening is I'm pre-recording. I'm basically saying something I've said before, and I'm trying to pull it into this conversation, and it won't work because, well, it doesn't work for me. So when I'm trying to deal with people, not being live doesn't work for me. I feel incompetent, um, and I know that I'm not connecting or reaching the person, and I can feel just the opposite of what I feel when I feel that healing energy. And I'm sure this is the same for all of you. This is why these things are popping up in my mind right now as I'm finally making these connections. So just be aware of that. So it says acceptance and healing, and you are a being of the universe. And that gives me a sense that you are powerful, and it's time for you to not only recognize it, but be aware when the power is moving through you. There's sometimes you might find yourself being um, an angelic warrior. I mean, one day I was somewhere and I was just like lit up, but it wasn't like anger, like to the point you want to do harm, but it was like justice, you know, and I was speaking without any inhibitions that would normally be there because I don't like conflict and I'm usually, I'm intimidated by that kind of thing. And but that day it was like whoop, like I just felt energy, like just like a whip just going through me and just shoot, 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 and but it was right, it was just, and it was appropriate. If I thought about it, it wouldn't have been, because I don't want to be like, I don't want to, I want to don't want to speak up. I mean that part of me would never choose to do that um, for myself, but I find it easier to be and step into that warrior um, angel, excuse me, when it's on behalf of others. But I'm also learning to do it for myself. because I first learned it for in by doing it for others. Okay, all right. I'm seeing sort of like, I don't know why, but a sort of a Stonehenge ish type setting as I turn this card over. So we have, let's see if we get these correct now. So this is the a Knight of Swords. All right. And so the Knight of Swords here, and he's standing by a river. It's interesting how these look a little different from traditional ones. But you see the storm clouds in the background, and you can almost see there's a breakthrough at the very top, but it's a very cloudy. So this gives me a sense of needing to stay focused on the light, right? Right now, it might not feel like there's a lot of light, whether it's in your own life or, just enough light left in the world. But you must stay focused on the light, because any amount of light, no matter how small it is in comparison to the darkness surrounding it, is still far more powerful, many times more powerful than any one aspect of darkness. So stay focused on the truth. Let your intuition guide you. I mean, he's kind of following this river bank here. So he's following his intuition while seeking knowledge and I guess truth, and maybe also when you say enlightenment, right? So make sure that you, like this knight, so I would consider him the warrior, which is interesting because I just realized that as I turned to the card. Um, and maybe that Stonehenge like setting is sort of like the spiritual warrior, right? You have this ancient wisdom and knowledge. Now is the time to trust it more than ever. Trust your instincts, but also trust your inner knowing. Trust your inner compass. Trust your intelligence, but use that intelligence to help you to investigate, to get to the bottom, get to the truth. And the truth will come out. All right, so this is the traditional. It's Odiano, but this is the devil card here, and so we just see this sort of wolf-like being or creature with red eye. Well, it's interesting because you can see his face. At first, when I looked at it, it looked like he was looking up, and now I just saw that both his eyes are here, so he's looking directly at you, and he's standing over a very narrow path in this wooded setting, and noticing that the trees around it are kind of barren. So sometimes, and there's this sense of you know limited light showing in the background, but sometimes we can feel tempted. And doesn't this also sort of seem, maybe forget the word tempted for a minute, but doesn't it also seem like what I've been saying, right? Confronting the challenges, right? So if we have these things that keep tempting us, resisting it will only cause it to persist, right? Choosing to focus, what you focus on increases. So you have to choose how you focus first. How are you going to focus? What are you going to focus on? What is your intention? And you might have to go through this path, but you can still do it with integrity, they write. And if you do it with integrity, you will not incur any expense to yourself, meaning you won't lose yourself. But what you will find is that the illusions are just that. So going into the, this seems like a little sort of story tale, fairy tale story, or whatever I'm trying to say. Um, but it's something in this story that we're seeing the cards here. You have the truth within you. You have the truth within you. You have the truth supporting you. You can go wherever you need to go as long as you remember to not lose your integrity and to do it with integrity. So that means that whatever it is that you have to go through this trail, then you have to raise the bar of integrity. Just don't meet it at its level, but go above it, far and beyond. Okay, and um, you can see in the background that there is a hint of life, a light. I said life, and that's also probably true, right? So that means what that means is that although this may not seem like you can go through this, and maybe right now, like the world, the country, we don't feel like we can go through this and keep our souls intact, but yes, we can, and we're going to. And yes, you can, and you're going to. And yes, I can, and I'm going to, right? So whatever it is trying to tempt you or distract you or intimidate you or draw you away from yourself, just know that the power of the truth and the light is within you, and it can never be taken away from you. You just have to decide if you're going to shine it in the face of intimidating factors. All right, so we have here the Five of Conchas. So this is Five of Pentacles, and this gives us a sense that this might be this thing, the being tempted by money or material things, matters is a better word to use. Being tempted by material matters that causes us to compromise our integrity, and it's not like sometimes like it could be a situation in which you think to yourself, I'll just have to do this one time, or I'll just like for instance, I'll just take this work. It's not what my soul resonates with, or and I feel like my soul is telling me not to do this. My intuition is giving me really bad signs, but I'm just going to do it anyway. That kind of compromise is the kind that you do not ever have to make. Last week they said to us, you're not stuck. If you think you're stuck, if you think you're without options, think again. It means you have to dig deeper into your truth to align with the level that is meant for you at this time. Sometimes we're just undervaluing ourselves, and we don't see that we've graduated to the next level, and we just keep playing that same level because we know it's familiar, but we don't want to do whatever it takes that pushes us to the next level. So like in Duolingo, there's this part of it that I keep avoiding. I hate it. I did do it this morning though, where you have to do the matching, and you have to go really fast, and I think sometimes they charge you if you don't get it done in the time, and so like I kept losing a lot in the beginning, money, and so I was just like, I'm not doing that anymore. So I skip it. But today was the first time I didn't skip it, and I realized that I'm recognizing vocabulary faster than I did when I first started. So the thing is, until today, I would have, if I didn't try it, I would have kept on doing that, and then I would never have known that I'm really picking up the vocabulary and I'm recognizing it. I'm able to match the words very quickly. And so today I didn't have to give him a dime. So it's, and here again, another example about how we can compromise our integrity just because we're afraid. And sometimes we're just afraid of being challenged. And you can't run away from this. And maybe, you know, we often see the devil card as something negative, but the negativity is something more like you doubting yourself, you undervaluing yourself. Because this card often in the traditional tarot, it looks like the lover's card, right? And so you're not loving yourself if you keep avoiding the truth, if you keep um, making excuses for reasons why you don't want to put yourself in that position. You know, like the big easiest one, and the one that might earn the highest score, like say if there's a Family Feud, is because, you know, if I experience too much failure, I'm protecting myself, because if I, you know, if I'm not ready, I feel like I'm not ready, and if I put myself out there, it'll damage my spirit. Like my soul will just crack, and I'll be forever, you know, and you know, I don't mean to say this out loud, but I'm gonna say it out loud because I sometimes I get a little fed up with modern psychology. Not all of it, but some, you know, like my grandmother used to say, whatever you do, do it in moderation. And we can get a little too sensitive, where it feels like sometimes psychology just allows us to make excuses for ourselves when we're supposed to use it to give us awareness. We know, like, nobody in our lives are perfect, and neither are we. And, you know, when you can say, okay, I acknowledge that this person, my parents were not who I needed them to be, blah, 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 blah. And at the same time, that they were who they needed to be in order for me to be able to become who I needed to be. That they were part of um, my curriculum, Earth School curriculum. And there's some little bit of balance in that. Yes, it hurt. Okay. But to always use that as the crutch for why you're not able to blah, 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 blah. Because I'm telling you, because I know. I mean, I've been through it myself. I've done it when you first get introduced into all this stuff. Again, nothing can go. We should never use anything in extremes. Not even this work, the spiritual work. You can't over everything has to be in balance ultimately, right? And so that's what I like about this card, where they put the water and the air together. Is that balance, and all the cards really have them. You know, every card is another instruction on balance, not one extreme over the other. You know, when you go to the water cards, it's not a permission for you to just be like, you know, all emotional or all stuck in your feelings, or whatever, how someone might interpret it. There's a balance there. There's a lesson of balance, bringing you point, you know, putting you making the obvious obvious, and then by if you look at it carefully, there's something bringing you back into, to help you find an equilibrium within every card's lesson. I didn't even look at this card. But you know, we just see these priest and or a priest and, you know, um, or monk, and the supplicants follow, you know, people who looks like this person. This is this, you know, a choir boy or, you know, altar boy kind of thing, and this person looks like someone who probably works for him. Um, but they're at some kind of rock opening, and which is interesting because my vision of Stonehenge didn't look like this. It kind of looked more like gateways, more rectangular rather than stony-ish, but they were slabs. And here, this is definitely a bit more thicker than the Stonehenge, but there is a path here, and what it might mean for them to go through that path. And it looks very atypical to the, like, this priestly, kind of thing versus this nature, almost pagan gateways. So, you know, this is something that you're looking at them exploring something that may be out of their depth. And again, we're just seeing this whole thing of taking this risk, being up for the challenge and being open and flexible and learning something new. Look at me going way over time. And this card came up again, which is the Ace of Wands, and it looks like this sort of green man figure. So there's just this sense of um, opportunities, right? And there's an abundance of opportunities, new ideas, that you are brimming with this, your inner life, your inner soul, and the inspiration that you allow to open up within you is what you will discover around you. So you are what you think, basically. And so think about, if you think you're limited, then look at what you're not valuing within yourself to sort of turn that around. All right, so I send you lots of love and healing and angel blessings and wish you a beautiful week. God bless you all.